hopefully we get answered come Saturday. I mean, I don't know that there's a specific thing as you watch the video. You know, anytime you're facing, you know, explosive athletes, a quarterback that is as good as there is in college football, and what he does, there's a cumulative impact of them, you know, running the style of offense that they use. I mean, there's multiple plays on any given down that you have to defend, you know, and you know, probably as scary as those are, you're punished at times for you know, defending the first play the right way, because the quarterback does such a great job of extending the play, and then kind of uses the term, okay, you defend the first play right, okay, what's the second play? And sometimes you're a little bit worse off on that one than you otherwise would have been. So just when you have that type of skill, like I said, there's just a cumulative impact.
Yeah, Pete Werner said something similar. Basically, they're just unrelenting. And how will the rotation that you guys have up front and in the back end, how does that help keep that from being so devastating?
Well, it needs to, and I think for, you know, every position, both up front, on the back end, and including the linebackers, you know, the guys that show the ability to help us win games on Saturday have to play. We'd like to play as many guys as possible. You know, obviously that has everything to do with the performance over the course of the week. But any rotation we can get certainly can help. And I think, you know, some positions have more depth than others, and those guys got to show up on Saturday and play like a one. I mean, that's the message. If there's any drop off, then the one's got to go, and that happens in several instances. But like I said, just a major challenge for the guys.
It seems like Pete Werner and Malik Harrison have gotten almost all the reps that matter at the two outside linebacker spots. Dante Booker was in there, flashed a little bit in the second half. Any chance that anybody else would work into a rotation at the outside linebacker spots?
Well, you mentioned Dante, and he did a real nice job on Saturday. He was our player of the game defensively, and that was exciting to see. But it goes back to, I think, you know, from a week-long preparation standpoint, guys got to do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and not just show an understanding of the game plan, but also, you know, the ability to be a playmaker for the defense. And those two guys have kind of separated themselves, certainly to a point that warrants, you know, those guys to get the bulk of the reps and have held up pretty well on Saturdays for us.
You guys seem to you're playing both Tough and Barron at middle linebacker, but it seems like it's not a rotation, it's maybe situational based on things. Just how would you describe what you're doing, how you're deciding when Tough's in the game and when Barron's in the game?
I think it's probably closer to a rotation than a situation. Okay. But there are absolutely you know, situations that you may lean on one as opposed to the other. They both show the ability to you know, kind of the Mike linebacker, almost like the quarterback of the defense type of thing. But both have the command in terms of getting the defense lined up, making the appropriate communications in that, and then you know, also the ability to make some plays for us. So I think everybody across the board, you're a better football player, and obviously depending on the rep count on the Saturday, but you're a better football player playing 30 reps as opposed to 60 reps. If you could do that at every, or 40 reps instead of 80 reps, if you could do that at every single position, that's ideal. So it's not always a knock against the individual that comes out, as much as anything is a credit to the guy that goes in for him. And in a perfect world, you'd be able to do it at every position, and that's why right now we're very comfortable with both those guys in that position.
When you're talking about guys that are separating themselves, you see Sean Wade maybe starting to move up the depth chart in the defensive backfield, whether it's a safety or in the nickel. Do you guys have an ideal spot for where you want him to be?
Well, and I don't think anything's, you know, overly settled in the second. We played a lot of guys, you know, both at corner, at safety. He's kind of, you know, he took advantage of an opportunity to nickel. And then the thing that you look for at every position, obviously number one is you know, the trust factor. Are they going to be where they need to be when they need to be there? That's one. And then if that's 1A, 1B is the ability to make plays. And he's flash for us a little bit. And again, it started in practice. And then, you know, some opportunities on Saturday. And so that's a guy, when you do those things, and you got to make a determination as a staff, is like you're saying, is what's the best position for him on the current roster to help us in 2018. And so we've kind of looked at a number of different spots, really from corner. He got some safety reps at the tail end of the game this past Saturday, and that was by design, although that's the newest position for him, and then played quite a bit of nickel as well. And so we got to find, you know, ultimately you got to zero in somewhere, you know, otherwise you stunt the growth of the individual. But like I said, it stems from the ability to not only be where you need to be when you're supposed to be there, but the ability to make plays. And so been very pleased with his progress. Really has taken a major jump through fall camp, and you saw flashes, but the ability to prep for a Saturday and perform on a Saturday has been really, really positive.
Hey Alex, one thing that Jeffrey Okuda said Saturday was that you and Greg Schiano were both sort of preaching that this defense hasn't come close to reaching its ceiling yet. One, why is that your message to them? And two, how far away are they?
Well, I think there's a number of things attached to that. I mean, number one, I think we would stand by that comment through 4 games. I don't think the standard here is even close to being met. The fortunate thing you're able to say that with a 4-0 record. And so obviously the number one goal is to hold the opponent to one less point than the offense scored. But obviously our goals are much higher than that. You run the risk early in the season on either side of things to when things are going positive that you get all figured out and the next 8-9 games are going to be a breeze for you because of how you perform in the first 3 or 4. The flip side is probably inappropriate to circle just the bad plays that you had in the first couple of games and say, well, that obviously is going to continue over the next 8 or 9 weeks. And so it's appropriate on our part to evaluate exactly where we are, and it's our determination that like Jeff said, we have not played our best game. We believe that the personnel that we have suggests we can be better, we need to be better, we should be better. And then what you do is you point the finger back at yourself as a coach and the coaching staff that, really as you analyze it, you look at 3 areas, and it starts with scheme. Number 2 would be execution, and number 3 is personnel. And so you kind of look at all 3 of those phases, and I think as a coach, it's appropriate that you do so in that order. A fan has a tendency to a lot of times look at number 3 and look at personnel and kind of go backwards in that. But in any event, oftentimes it's not one or the other. It's kind of a combination, or 2 or 3, or some of those things. So all those things are being evaluated because when we say that to the players, it's not as if we point fingers at them and say, it's on you. It's on all of us. But the reality is that we got to get better, and we got to be better this Saturday.
As a defensive expert this week, why is it that games like this seem to come down to defensive line play so much? I mean, you had a Nick Bosa walk-off sack, Sam Hubbard's tackle of 2 Penn State guys here, a blocked field goal going the other way. All defensive line plays that determine games in this series. Why is it that, I know it's always true that the game's won in the trenches, but why does it seem so much more so when it's Penn State?
I think what you're highlighting as much as anything else is just impact players. And when people talk about in these type of games and these type of atmospheres, those individuals for either side, have to step up. Your best players have to play their best. If they don't, it's very difficult to have any success against such a you're talking about top 10 opponent, perennial on a year-to-year basis, and certainly they are. And so I think that's what it stems from, and hopefully we can get some production from a number of layers of our defense. But certainly, like you're saying, it all starts up front.
Alex, how long does it take to know when a recruiting class hits?
Oh, I think it's difficult to determine. I think every guy's development is different, and I think it's appropriate that you allow their development to be individualized. It's kind of like as you assess, maybe going back to where are you as a defense? Okay, where are you as a class? I think you have to be able to maybe look through some of maybe the individual mistakes on a given day and say, well, this guy's developing in the weight room. He's developing from a speed standpoint. And another individual that you're awfully excited about right now just simply might have a little bit cleaner mental aptitude at this point. But from a physical and athletic standpoint, there's an individual in our program that may not be getting as much work as that individual, just simply because the learning curve has been such. And so, with that, I think it's tough to decipher, and then sometimes it stems too from the depth that you have on your football team.
But you can tell, I'm assuming, that even if they don't play right away, or that you can tell that this class that we brought in is going to change this program. And I don't know, does it take 4 years for you to determine that, or can you feel when these guys step in, even if they've got work to do or things to improve on, or size, strength, all the things that people need to do, you can just, I don't know, I feel like...
I think to a point, and I think you're accurate, to a point. And why I say that is simply because, if they're not where you want them 2 years from now, doesn't mean they won't be there 4 years from now. And to put that all on 25 guys is very difficult to do. I will say this, that as you look through, you know, the current class, so the 2018 guys that are freshmen, awfully excited about the athleticism in that group. And so, you know, guys that we think have a major impact, you know, in the majority of cases, more future than present, but not for the lack of ability.